This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We've declared the month of August our Youth Month. We're focusing on issues that concern the youth, of course, and also finding solutions to some of our problems. Now we have some very energetic Tomorrow is International Youth Day. Very soon, some of us will not be counted as youth, but we move. Mr. William Messiedu says he's, old youth. He's an old youth. I believe to be classified as, I'm not sure if this is correct, to be classified as a youth, you are 35 and below. Below 40, Hey, okay, we have time. We have some young, energetic Ghanaians in the studio this morning. We're going to be getting into some issues that concern the youth, finding out how business is going as well, and what we can do to chart the path forward. Let me say good morning and a warm welcome to Mr. Kofi Ansah. He's the managing director of Ahodwo Farms. Good morning to you, Kofi. Hope you're well.
By grace.
Get closer to the mic for me, please. Also in studio is Mobarika Awudu, founder of Mo Tribe Ghana, director of Gender, AFCFTA, Young Entrepreneur Federation. This is a very huge title. We'll break it down as we go on. And also we have Dr. Abdul Muntaka, Senior Technical Advisor, Cariska. Lady and gentlemen, again, good morning to you. Get closer to the mics for me, please. You can swing it to you. How are we doing this morning? Ghanaians will say we are managing.
Yes.
Is that what is going on?
Yeah,
you have to be a manager. If you're a farmer, you are still a manager. If whatever it is you're doing, you add managing director actually to your title. But it's good to see you. I'll start off with Kofi, and you are the managing director at Ahodwo Farms. Is that also the same as being a farmer?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Why did you choose the title managing director?
Oh, because probably I'm the final authority with the company. That's why.
Okay.
Directing the affairs of the firm or the farm. So I'm Kofi Ansah, as you rightly said. I'm a chartered accountant by profession.
Lovely.
But a farmer by passion.
A farmer by passion. I love that. And what is it that you farm?
So we cultivate cassava and process it into gari.
Okay.
Currently, but the objective is to take full advantage of anything cassava. Because there are so many things you can do with cassava. You can do starch, you can do ethanol, you can do cassava pills, animal feed.
Really?
So the pills, we dry it and sell it to the animal farmers.
Oh, I
and
see.
Then you can even do, there is a food for the cassava leaves. In Kenya, they hydrate it, dry it, and then they use it for stew like kontomire as we do in Ghana here. But currently all those things, most of it go waste because of financial constraints.
Really?
So currently our main focus, our main product is the gari.
I see. I'm getting some good intel. William, did you know about that you can get
I know the Nigerians also eat cassava.
The cassava leaves.
Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, it's interesting.
Up north also.
Up north as well.
Ghana.
I see. And you can even do, I think you have, I used to see that a lot, cassava chips.
Yes, cassava.
Yes.
I don't know, I haven't seen it in a long
Do we
time.
get tapioca too from cassava?
Yes, we get
so that's for
tapioca.
So a lot. Mr. Ansah, you're about to be a rich man. Mobarika as well, founder of Mo Tribe Ghana, director of Gender, AFCFTA, Young Entrepreneur Federation. A mouthful. Break it down for us. What is it that you do?
So my name is Mobarika Audu, as you said, and then I'm the
Get closer to the mic for me,
of
please.
Mo
Yes.
Tribe.
Yes.
Mo Tribe is a fashion house that use the fugu fabric to make fashion accessories like bags and then clothing. So that is what I do, and also on the side, I'm also the head of director for gender for After Young Entrepreneurs Federation. What After Young Entrepreneur Federation is, we are mobilizing the youth for the After. You know, After has just been launched, and then we need.
America, when you say just, it's been a little while.
No, it's just I think that was last year. So
Hey.
for policies, it's just because it takes time for it to get implemented and be active for all to get the effect of it. So that's why I said just. Because Africa, Ghana is almost 60 years or 60 plus, and then if we are now thinking of formulating trade among African countries, then it's just
okay.
So that's why
I agree with you. It's very recent. But what is the role?
Long overdue. So as we say, we are mobilizing youth for after, and then women also have their targeted policies, policies that are targeted at women, and then so we're also saying that because of that, we also need to mobilize the women so that we can deliver the policies or educate them or give them information about the policies that have been formulated for them.
Sure.
Because a lot of the policies that are made for the young or the youth, they don't know how to access it. So the policies are there, the youth are somewhere. We need to bridge that gap where the youth will be able to access the policies. So if there is a policies or they want to disseminate some information or disembed or reach out to youth, where do they go to? They need a group or an association that has already mobilized the youth. It was okay, let's go to AFIEF, and then we need so and so youth to maybe fund or give grants to or support. This is where we can go to instead of the youth scattered around. So let's put them together, and then we can also have one voice where we can speak and say, okay, this is what we demand, this is what we need. The policies that are being formulated, how do we have access? How does it affect us? Or they just sit somewhere, make the policies, come and sign documents on TV, club, Afro-Exim Bank giving after $6 million. Where is the money going to? Who has the money? How do we benefit from that money? Zenith Bank just signed an MOU also yesterday, giving some millions of dollars to the youth. Who is having that? How do we get access?
These are serious questions, though. Now you're giving me some revelations.
Yes.
These monies are being disbursed. Who is benefiting?
Yes, who is benefiting? And then when you ask, he's saying he needs investment. I need investment to also expand. We are trying to expand beyond borders. So how do we get there? And then someone contacted him, I need 40-footer of container. And then there's no money. But if all these monies are there, and then they just use it to make conferences and seminars, and they don't invest into the industries or into our businesses, how do we break away from, there's Feed the Future program. There's a lot of programs that are happening, but who is benefiting? Nobody. All the people, all my colleagues and all the people that are in my field, we all don't have access to money. They tell you to go to the banks and the interest rates are skyrocketing. You don't even
crazy.
Want to go there.
I see Kofi shaking his head. You had your own experience with the bank.
So these are some of the challenges.
I already mentioned the name of the bank, but since January, I've provided everything they
and
want.
Yet,
yes,
that's another angle of the conversation.
I should go to one of my...
Could we get closer to the mic for me, please, so we can hear you?
I should bring the financials of my customer before you approve a facility for me. On my own strength, you can't. So I said, who comes to you that, I'm taking a loan and you are my reference, bring your financials before they guarantee you the loan. No. So, yes, and that's what we want to do with AFTA. To draw the policymakers' attention that, look, there are youth who are the future. So therefore, in the policy, how does the youth access these funds? That's all we are saying.
That is very interesting, Kofi. I'm so intrigued by that conversation. We'll certainly come back because it's not enough that the rates are so high. Now, even when you are willing to pay that, there's still a barrier. A lot to discuss. Mubarika, there's a lot of passion in the voice this morning. We'll come back to you because we're also quite curious about Mo Tribe. But I'll come to Doc as well. And again, he's the Senior Technical Advisor, CARISCA, Center for Applied Research and Innovation in Supply Chain. I'd be lying if I said I knew what that was. Break it down for us, Doc, please.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners. I will consider myself an adult youth.
An adult youth. I wouldn't ask you to disclose your age, Doc, but I think maybe yourself and William could be contemporaries. William, what do you think? I'm seeing, it's about the same. Possible. Okay.
So, CARISCA is a center set up by the USAID at KNUST, and we are in collaboration with Arizona State University, and the aim is to move from production to the market. So we are supply chain, and the question we always ask ourselves is, what is the use of a product if it stays where it has been produced to rot? So we carry out research through engagement. So For example, today I'm in your studio. I'm already looking around for what is it that you should have moved that is still here. So as I move, that's what I do. When I find anything that is interesting, I bring it to your attention. This can be moved in this way. And sometimes it is not enough to just see. There may be bottlenecks that is preventing that thing from moving. And so we carry out the research to find out what these bottlenecks are. And then we are able to do tailor-made curriculum and training for organizations. And we have a special focus on access and inclusion for women and disadvantaged groups. So almost every community you go to, you are going to find people who are voiceless. We have women who are trying to take care of families, and they have all kinds of challenges. And so we look at their issues closely, and with the support of the USAID, and let me say good morning to the Ghana Mission for their benevolence. We thank them for enabling us to do the little we are doing. So Cariska is into that, and we have had engagements with AFTA. We have had engagements with the pharmaceutical industry, a number of people in the agric industry, and it's still ongoing.
Okay.
So we are around.
Love that. And you're all doing such amazing and important work in your different fields. And because Kofi is here, I want to talk about agric. It's a big hot topic. I was recently on a Spaces on social media, and there were a few farmers who had come to talk about, the state of affairs as we find it now. Because every day we hear new reports of what's going in our agric sector, and it's not encouraging. Kofi, from where you sit, do you think the government is doing enough to support farmers? Because what I heard, the picture that was painted was very bleak. No cushioning, no subsidies, you can't find fertilizer. It seems as though the agric sectors or those in private farming have been left to their own devices. You have had to approach a bank, and even where you are willing to pay the monies, there's a huge barrier. Talk to us about how you're finding business.
First of all financial institutions and funding agencies in general have a bad perception about agric, that it's a high-risk venture. It's not true. Everything is risky. Life is risky. The only thing that is guaranteed for me is the word of God. Nothing is guaranteed. So you find solutions to them. When I started this farming, I've never used pesticide. During off seasons like Harmattan season, you have to improvise. I was planting during Harmattan season by looking for a friend who has a water tanker. Unfortunately, my boss was willing to grant me his water tanker. Used it to water and plant because I couldn't afford irrigation then. So the only problem we have here is to just irrigation. If you find solutions to your irrigation problem, you'll be farming all season. So if you say that the venture is high risk and then you end up processing, if I was only cultivating cassava, then I'll say that post-harvest losses. But you further add a small means by adding value, and I convert it into Gary. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's just that they are just being lazy about it. And it's true. No government agency is supporting. When you go to Nigeria, they have the Bank of Industries, specialized bank set up for industries, not ADB going after consultants and all that. If I approach ADB right now, they don't look at me. They said, oh, we have the means, come. You go, they dissect your business and show you why it's so high risk. So you don't solve the problem. What we need is that if we are all saying that the engine of growth is industrialization, which bank is specializing in industrialization? I can't be taking loan at almost 38% per annum as against a Dubai importer or a Chinese importer. He brings the goods and just sell. Look, I go through a process. Cassava takes 9 months to cultivate. The earliest you get is 7 months. Then you harvest, you process it. Gari is a high consuming product.
That's right.
Look, this Gari I produce can last on the shelves for 3 years. and you are saying you are unable to feed school feeding and all that. Gary can be converted into a lot of foodstuffs.
That's right.
Do a lot of things with it. So what are we telling ourselves? We are just not finding solutions. We just want the easy way out. The banker comes, you go trader, you give him 38%, he turns it around. He's not ready to support you, the agri guy. So it is just that we are not finding solutions. Nigeria, the Bank of Industry gives them 6,000 hectares. The bank invests in it. But what are we doing? Look, getting automated Gary machine is $5,000. That's about 60,000 Ghana cedi. That machine alone can produce 150 kg, $5 a day. If you work 6 days, that's $30. What demand can't you meet? What supply can't you meet? And it gives you quality Gary. I always tell my people, my Gary is the most quality premium. I employ 90 people every day.
You have 90
workers.
90 workers.
Yes. I host about 45 of them, feeding them 3 square meal.
Wow.
And I pay the average of 45 cedis a day.
So this plight of the farmer is not something that is a myth. It's a reality.
No, if I told you, as at now, if I show you my books, I've sold about almost 2 million Ghana cedi worth of Gary as at this time. You won't believe me. But who is coming to support you? You go and they give you stories.
That's very unfortunate because we're encouraging more young people to enter this space and it's not looking attractive at all. William, you want to have a bite on this?
I spoke to the managing director of All Star Insurance. He was there yesterday about agric. And we were saying that because some of the farms too are too small, we have a lot of smallholder farms. Is this something that you consider?
My farm alone, I have about 1,700 acres of land. I have cultivated 600. When I was grading, because cassava you need to plow, you have to grade the farm. It costed me 250,000 Ghana cedi to grade 400 acres. See, when I approached these grading machines, they were not willing to listen. Every day they will take 5,000 Ghana cedis to grade 4 acres for you. Who will survive? If not for my background and savings, I wouldn't have been able to expand. I have 2 tractors. What I do is that I use one to support the outgrowers. The tractor trotro, they are in the north. They are not even in the south. Go to Volta region and see people who are willing to. They've signed on to my scheme whereby I plow for you for free and buy the produce at a discounted rate. So one of the tractors serves them and one serves me on the farm. Then one that serves me on the farm, I went to John Deere. $35,000. How many youth can raise that? I had to pay 50% and they will spread the rest. Even that one, they charged me almost 20% on the difference. And I'm paying in installments. If it's not viable, they wouldn't have supported me.
You didn't get anything from the Planting for Food and Jobs program?
I did all I could.
You didn't get any support at all?
I don't want to mention him, but I was with one minister. I was with one minister. He gave me a contact. He said, meet me after here. I had the opportunity to sit with him, take him through all that we do. He didn't even send an aide to come and look at the farm, whether I'm lying or... After showing all the videos.
And this is under the school, how do you call it? Planting for Food?
Planting for Food and Jobs.
I called and called. That number he gave me is like he was just giving me a number.
In fact, I'm seeing Mobarika is laughing because she has experience with this. And Doc, we'll come to you after that so you can weigh in on this. And also you related to your own business and what types of interventions you've been able to get from government to bolster what you're doing.
Okay, so at Mo Tribe, we have a model that deals with weavers up north, and then we use the weaved fabric as a raw material to make our production south here. So we have a workshop also that engages the services of young men and women into the production of the a value addition of the fabrics, the bags, and the crafts that we do. So the same challenges everywhere, as in access to money is not there. So you don't even think about going to the banks. If the bank approached me, I was like, a bank approached me about loaning. So I gave them a term, okay, fine, I give you loan, but in terms you have to give me contracts to manufacture all your laptop bags you don't import from China. They said no, they can't give me a loan and still give me a contract. I said, okay, where do I get the money to pay back the loan you want to give me? If you believe in empowering the youth and you believe in supporting Made in Ghana brands, that's the only way you can support us. Not only come and call me and then say, okay, I see you're doing well, can you come for a loan at this rate, then who would buy the product for me to bring the money to you? So I said, okay, can I talk to your manager? I called the manager. I said, okay, this is my proposal. I know you buy laptop bags because I have done IT before, and I know that I supply laptops with laptop bags and backpack. We can make quality ones for you. We can even customize and brand them in your colors for you. All you need to do is to give us contracts and give us loans. Let us execute. They said, no, they can't do that. So I said, I don't want the loan to. So we have to fund the businesses with our own money. Then you talk about inflation. Every day you're going to buy something, the prices are low. If I give a typical example, I would give is a glue that we use to make the work.
Right.
At the beginning of the year, we're buying the glue as 45 cedis. Now we are buying it at 250 cedis for 1 gallon of glue.
You mean in the year 2023?
January 2023.
January 20.
Yes.
What was the price of the glue you used?
45
cedis.
Yes.
The month is August. How much are you spending on said glue?
250 cedis now for a gallon of glue. Unless you go to the wholesaling and get it at 200 or 220, that means you're going to the wholesale.
And this is a reality on the ground.
Yes. So, and you're increasing your price. Everybody is being affected by the same inflation, and then people and purchasing power is stretched. People are even giving more. They're giving more priorities to things that are needed, not wants. So you see, we're really struggling. And then we have to focus on other areas like, okay, I haven't even come to talk about the other items we need, like the leather, which the importers are not even bringing in anymore because of import rates. Right. That is another thing. Then we look at getting your structure. I have a showroom, I have a workshop, and I'm paying for all these spaces, and then you are supposed to pay up to 10 years for a rent of a shop.
Up to 10 years?
Yes. The minimum you can get to rent a shop is like 5 years. That's when the person is kind. And then so some shops are going as high as 80,000 for the 5 years. Some are 150,000. So if I'm a startup, how do I get to rent a space? And then this is one aspect. We don't have tax holidays. We don't have support. And then when you even go to the tax agencies to register, then they are also after you.
Oh, yes.
Utilities after you. Municipal assembly is after you. And the municipal assembly, what I always ask, what do they use the money for when they come for them? Because we don't benefit anything from them. Most of them. So, okay, where does the money go?
Well, Barika says, Sikano.
Yes.
Dog, I'm going to come to you very quickly because listening to Kofi and Mobarika, it just sounds as though step after step, it's barrier after barrier. And these are young people who are willing and ready to get their hands and feet dirty. They're not asking for too much. They're asking for the conditions to be stable so they can do their work, make their money, contribute to society. From where you sit and with all the research, what is going on?
You see, the issues are multifaceted. First, I would say in summary that we have leaders who are always looking for the easy way out. In almost everything, any decision that they take, they are always looking for the easy way out. I'll give you a number of examples. Then, if you take Kofi's issue, you see, banks will tell you the risk is high. And before somebody arrives at the conclusion that risk is high, it is because of the experiences they have had over the period. So there are a number of Kofis.
Sure.
Some real, some not real. Typical example, I was engaging somebody who is the desk officer for agric businesses. And then he says this person came to him that he has 2 trucks of rice that he has to mill to meet a demand. He needs the loan and there's no time for them to go assess and all of that. So given the desperate nature of his demeanor and everything he was showing and the bank statement he was holding, they took the risk in just saying, look, you know what, let's support this. And then he tells me his manager told him, you didn't go to do any assessment. This loan is on your head. And then they advanced this money to this person, and then he fizzled into the air. Now, you will find that for this bank, the next person who will come is going to go through hell to be able to get the funding. So I say that let us break the supply chain. Okay, pre-planting. What are the issues there? You will find that it is all about tractor service. So, and this is where you see me say our leaders take the easy way out. I don't know why, for example, we have a Ministry of Agric, say in Debiso, in Daboya, in Damango, and they don't have tractors to plow the land. What is that supposed to mean? Why are you a Ministry of Agric? If you tell me there's no money, but you have money to buy Land Cruiser, then it tells me you have misplaced your priority, because then you are not too particular about the challenge that the youth face. So if you are a young man and I can't give you money to plow your land, I can plow for you on credit, so that we look at your harvest and then we can be able to come together to do a payment plan that allows you to. So you see, in our research, funding, pre-planting funding, for example, is a major issue, because the rains now, because of climate change, are very unpredictable. And so if you miss the planting rain, you see, everybody looks at agric and they think once rain has fallen, you should be able to plant. But we have that planting rain. You cannot afford to miss it.
That's right.
When you miss that planting rain, you plant, but it will not work. And if you took a loan from a bank, you cannot pay. So the bank will add it to their bad books, the bad book portfolio. And once that portfolio is growing, every bank becomes more cautious. They don't want to give any loan, because the bad books are growing, and shareholders are not going to tolerate the fact that, oh, we gave the money to the farmers, their farms didn't do well, and therefore we have to. So yesterday, All Star Insurance was talking about insurance. I wanted to ask him a question. Are you also going to insure bumper harvest? Because you see, our problems, like I said, the leaders refuse to think, and therefore we are all refusing to think. So there is bumper harvest of, say, cassava, and we say that, well, we don't know what to do with the cassava, and we leave the farmers to their fate. Who said we can't feed all secondary schools with cassava for 1 week?
Yes.
With all manner of dishes.
We can do the different dishes of cassava. If plantain is in plenty, let plantain be the meal for the entire week.
And you can do so many things with it.
Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, you see, for example, there is buffer stock.
That's right.
Meanwhile, buffer stock, I don't want to speak for them because I'm not their PR, but my thinking is that they don't have the free will to even operate.
They don't operate at all.
Because the thing is,
we have instances in those who are farming in the north.
Yes.
And some of the buffer stock, they use it for goats, rallying and other things.
Well, Marika, this is a revelation. So what is inside the storerooms? Goats.
Yes. And then people don't take it there, because the policies, sometimes the policies, they put the policies beautifully on a paper.
That's right.
But they don't execute it well. So that is why AFIEF comes in. We have to demand for answers from when the policymakers, at the time they're making the policies, are the youth involved in the policies, or they assume that this is what is happening? And
are the youth involved?
No, they are not. We're not on the table. We are not on the table of the policymakers.
The youth are involved, but the young youth are involved. Look, for you to get to be involved, you must be a party activist.
That is the truth.
That is the
reality.
So the thing is, look, you take somebody who just finished school, and the person realizes that, look, let me be a party boy, let me worship the politician, so that at the end of the day, I'll be given a position I don't deserve. So when there is going to be a policy, the likes of Kofi will not make it unless Kofi is ready to abandon his farm and go and hold a party flag.
And we can't
do that and grow the industry.
No. And we can't have these conversations without being as honest as possible.
No. Yes.
Because if we're looking for the way forward, we have to say exactly what the reality is on the ground.
But I want to say something on what Doctor said about bumper harvest and all that.
Sure.
The reality is that, you see, the banks, you said one part where I agree with you, that they are failing to think and provide the requisite solution. You see, you can't treat, and the credit risk analyst there has never ventured any entrepreneurship business before. You go there and they give you examples. See, I went on the farm with one of the risk analysts of the bankers. I answered over 1,000 questions from the place I picked him to the farm, took him to all around. So there is two sides of farming, where you produce the raw material and where you process the raw material. Fortunately, I do both. Number two, I have shown that when there is bumper, there is machines to further process and preserve. So you, the investor, you, the financing guy, what do? You look at it. Does it fall in producing or does it fall into processing? If it's producing, can we link him to a processor? So that if we sponsor you and there is bumper, we give your produce to a processor who will produce and preserve. Then still the money will come back. It won't go waste, as you were trying to paint it. You see, some of the comments, even those anybody passes about agric, demoralize them to invest in it. And it's right. Very painful when we are trying to find solutions to that. I always tell the farmers, when I went to Japan, that's where my farm is. As I speak to you now, they were doing maize. A lot of people were doing, today they are all doing cassava. Why? I've come to add up to the off-takers who readily buy. Even when your cassava is 3 months old, 4 months old, I have something I call cassava for cash guarantee. If I come to your farm and a man called me, he needed 2,000 to do operation for the son. I asked him, do you have cassava farm? He said, yes. Okay, this is the agreement. Just sign that upon maturity, you sell to me at this price. And I gave him the 2,000. As I stand on our books, about 10 farmers owe us whose cassava we are waiting to mature and we buy so that I will sustain the production. You see, so nobody is thinking like that. No policy maker, no financing guy is thinking like, link the producer to the processor and the market. And that is all. And that is what the Bank of Industry in Nigeria are doing.
You see, Kofi, you just said something. Look, in February of 2022, we did a study whose policy brief and white paper will be published any moment from now.
Sure.
And you find that many of the farmers you talk about are complaining that, look, you know what? Somebody gives me money and the person determines the price of my produce even before I have harvested it. Meanwhile, if you look at the price charts of Ghana, you will see that there are times when the prices of products are very high. There are times when they are low. So somebody says, look, I harvest 2 kg maize or cassava. And then ordinarily on the market, I will have gotten 400 cedis.
Sure.
But because I had taken a loan of 200 from somebody, the person takes my maize at 220. You see, in the mind of the one who took the maize, he has helped you, the farmer. But in the mind of the farmer, he doesn't call it cheat, but they feel they have not been treated fairly. That is why you see that in some communities, that funding mechanism is not working. You see, I agree with you. Let us be fair. And let's put ourselves in. We have all refused to think. So that somebody does not complain that I'm blaming them and not blaming myself. Because when you share the thoughts, look, we have gathered some good data. We have gathered information about the scheme Kofi is talking about.
Right.
We have gathered data about the schemes that the banks have pursued. In fact, we gathered data from the time government started, all the interventions government has introduced from the days of President Nkrumah to date, including planting for food and jobs. And we have tried to look at what is it that causes government funding to fail, private funding to fail. All of these are issues that we need to sit around and face each other and say, look, default risk is very high.
That's right.
Among farmers. So 5 farmers will pay back, 20 refused. So the 20 who refused to pay erases the benefit got from the 5. And therefore, if I have the money, I refuse to give it because I am thinking that. So we proposed that, look, let us create a common platform where any farmer seeking to get a loan, funding from government, from private sector, from an individual must register, just like Momo.
Sure.
Just register. And so you take the loan from there. Because there is what we found to be called loan shopping. So I take from Kojo I take from Ama, I take from Mubaraka, I take from Kofi. At the end of the day, I am overwhelmed by the money. And therefore, my produce cannot support it. That loan shopping is one of the major factors for default risk. Therefore, if we can create that platform where all financiers agree that we can only give loan through this platform, we will begin to identify the real people, give them the appropriate amounts that they want, and then begin to solve the problem.
Sure. Time check, it is just a minute till 9 a.m. and we'll be shortly making way for Community Connect with Johnny Hughes. We're talking about the youth and our issues when it comes to business, doing business in Ghana. What are some of the pitfalls and what could be done differently? I know this morning we've highlighted a lot of the issues, and as Doc will say, it's a multifaceted situation. We can't exhaust all of that today. And all throughout the month of August, we're focusing on the youth. It is Youth Month, and so I know Kofi, Mubaraka, and Doc will be coming back again for a part 2 because it's very important. But Kofi, I know you have some samples with you here.
Yes,
can we take a look at the produce?
Yes, so this is Ahojo Premium
This is
Gari.
Ahojo Premium Gari.
The best Gari you ever get on the market.
This looks so smooth, Kofi.
Yes.
Incredibly smooth.
And neat.
Neat, smooth.
Yes.
This one, if you use it for some eba, it's not going to be easy.
I tell you.
Gary Photo.
This is Gary biscuits. This is the kind of Gary you can keep on the shelves for 3 years.
And on the last, today is the last day of BEC. This is a graduate and a graduate's Gary. This is state of the art Gary. Amazing stuff. And also, Mubaraka has something from her brand. Wow.
Oh, yes.
Imagine.
Beautiful.
And look at what Mubaraka said about providing laptop bags.
Yes.
We could get something unique, something that is of our own quality. Check this out. I have some dress be that. It's amazing, and you have the logo there, Mo Tribe. Very exciting stuff. And you can check us out on Facebook and see more of this. Look at this.
The ladies.
Mr. William, the wife would like something like this.
Yes.
How much would this go for?
This is 350 cedis.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, William says he's going to be buying for all the ladies in it, for the 2 daughters. All the ladies.
One
all the
IG
ladies.
as Motribe
Faustina, Janet, check it out. Yes, Johnny and William are sponsoring our bags there.
Yes.
But we're wrapping up now on this conversation. And in just a minute from each of you, please, let's talk about projecting into the future. Kofi, Mubaraka, Doc, what would make the landscape for you, the business landscape, an easier terrain for the youth to traverse? What is it that would help? Just summarize for us and then we'll round up.
For me, if we are talking about industrialization, the government must look at which financial institution is bridging the gap, whereby they will sit down. And as Doc said, it's all about monitoring and evaluation. So you don't get scared. You do a lot of reviews on the farmer you financed. Okay, you go to them. What are the challenges? You don't sit back and expect him to work and bring the money. So there must be an institution focused on industries supporting us, making sure that the loans they are giving or the finance they are giving, the rate is good, and also monitoring to solve the problem along the line. Okay, so you give us money, you go and sit down. Look, when I give a farmer money and I pre-finance, I have a supervisor with a motorbike who always pass by the farm and make sure you don't uproot at my back. Sure. And if it happens that you do, it means that we take over the land and we cultivate the next season. Simple. We solve our problem. So this season you duped us, but the next season I'm taking the farm, farming, my guys are out there. So that's, you solve the problem. Problems will come along the line. So please, the government should look at a bank or a finance institution focusing on industries, like Nigeria is doing with banks of industry. Dangote is a creation. So Zoom Lion is a creation. People sat down and decided to make Zoom Lion the company it is. So the youth, where is the next Zoom Lion?
Where is the next Zoom Lion? Mubaraka, final thoughts from you in about 30 seconds for me, please.
Okay, so for me, I believe in corporation coming together and then building a team like us, what we're doing with AFIF. We want to mobilize the youth so that we'll have one formidable force where we can talk or about talk about our problems, try to help each other, network, and try to expand our businesses. Even if the government is not doing, but I know there are policies. If the policies are ready, where would they find us? So with AFIEF, we are on Facebook. We are open to all the SMEs, entrepreneurs, both young and old, to come to be part of the federation, so that we'll be stronger together, and then we can fight for the youth. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Doc, final words from you as well in a minute or less.
Thank you very much. I think that we have to stop this piecemeal approach to solving the issues of agric. The Minister of Agric should be up and doing. We need a realistic structure that will look at pre-planting to marketing. Once we do that, with everybody on board, we shall begin to confront head-on the issues facing agri.
Thank you.